What is going on YouTube? It's your boy NevinTheBarber, and in today's YouTube tutorial, I'm going to be going over a blurry mid-drop fade step by step. And just so you guys know, I am located in El Paso, Texas. If any of my viewers are trying to book a haircut, you all can feel free to go to my Instagram, and I do have my booking link right in my bio. But to get right into this haircut, you guys can see that I knocked down the top of my client's hair with the number 5 guard, going with the grain. And since this is gonna be a mid-drop fade, I was able to drop this fade beneath my client's occipital bone in the back. That way we can leave some contrast and some darkness on that bone on the back of his head. And I'm gonna go ahead and set my second guideline in, going up about 1 inch right above this previous section. And I do have the Gamma X Instinct clippers right here with no guard lever all the way open. And I'm going up about 1 inch, that way I have enough space to blend it out and really give my fade some nice contrast when the fade is complete. And I'm not gonna blend out that guideline quite yet. I'm gonna go ahead and create another guideline right on top of it using my 1.5 guard lever all the way closed. And I'm gonna go ahead and blend this guideline into the parietal ridge and the crown area, doing some clipper over comb. And the reason why I leave the 1.5 guard on is just to be safe. Sometimes if you do clipper over comb without the guard, you can cut, more hair than necessary. So just keep that in mind whenever you guys are doing this step. And now to erase that middle guideline, I'm gonna use the 1/2 guard with the lever all the way open. And this is basically just blending the 0.5 into the 1.5. And you guys just wanna be patient with this step right here and really pay attention to how the hair is growing out of the scalp. Some of your clients may have hair that is growing in different directions. So in that case, you would just angle the clipper in the direction that the hair is growing out of the scalp. But just be patient with it. Cutting hair is all about patience and consistency with each step. And some of these steps may take a little bit longer than others based off the density of your client's hair texture. So like I said, just keep that in mind and be patient whenever you guys are blending out each guideline. And I'm just gradually closing that lever 1 notch at a time as needed. And you guys just keep in mind that every time you close the lever, the hair is going to be getting cut at a tad bit more of a shorter length. But you guys can see how that guideline is slowly starting to disperse away and create a nice blurry effect. And this is really where the majority of your fade is going to happen, between the 0.5 and the 1.5. So you guys can tell that I do like to spend the most time on this part of the fade, just because, like I said, this is really what's going to bring out the most of the detail work in the fade and whatnot. And there was one more faint guideline right at the top of the fade, so I went ahead and took my number 2 guard with the lever all the way open. And then I went ahead and closed the lever all the way just to knock out that last faint line that I saw. And before I erase the last guideline in the fade, I'm gonna do my client's edge up. And I always do some trimmer over comb, as you guys can see. And what this is doing in specific is just knocking off those flyaways that don't need to lay on my client's hairline. That way when you guys come back and line it up, everything is nice and sharp. And I always like to begin with the C-cups and the vertical bars before I edge up the front. But personally, that's just what I like to do. It makes the edge up a little bit more easier for me. And now I'm gonna go ahead and erase that last guideline using no guard lever all the way closed. And these clippers right here are 0 gapped. I would highly recommend that you guys do this with the 0 gapped clipper, just because it'll make the job that much easier if your blades can cut all the way down to the skin. And now I just have to come back and remove all of the bulk. And this is my favorite part of the cut right here, just because it brings the whole fade together and it's just so satisfying to do whenever you guys are removing the bulk. And I really like this fading system that I created here, because you guys also won't find yourself struggling in the middle of the fade to knock out that last skin line. as opposed to doing this method right here. You guys can see I just remove the bulk and follow it up with my skin shaver, which makes the job that much easier because you already have your fade complete. But let me know if you guys have tried out this method. Let me know if it has helped any of you guys out. I do appreciate any feedback. And if you guys do want to see any other haircut tutorials, feel free to drop them in the comments and I will get them out for you guys. And here I'm just doing some detail work, ensuring that I could really get that fade as blurry as I possibly can. And I brought out my Gamma Instinct clippers right here because my Instinct X clippers had died on me, if you guys are wondering why I brought out a different clipper. But if you guys do want to save any money on these clippers, feel free to use my discount code NEVIN10 on the Gamma website whenever you guys are at checkout. I do highly recommend all of their clippers. They're all very high quality tools and whatnot. Now that I finished the fade, I'm gonna go ahead and line up my client C-cups and vertical bars on the other side. And you guys can see how I was explaining, you can just come back and get that nice crispy line in the front, making it that much easier for you. You really don't gotta make the job harder than what it is. And right here, I took my 1.5 guard all the way open just to knock out some few last dark areas that I saw. And this is what I was explaining to you guys, how it's a lot easier to actually do the fade before you remove the bulk. That way you don't, push your fade too high or create any unnecessary guidelines in the cut. And now I just come back with no guard lever all the way closed, and just like that, I was able to get a nice, clean, blurry fade. I just have to come back and remove all of the bulk with my trimmers. And I always take at least 10 to 15 minutes just to go back and really detail my cut, ensuring that the lineup is on point, as well as the fade is nice and consistent on both sides. As a barber, you guys are creating a piece of art, and it is a walking billboard of your work. So you want to be sure that you give each and every one of your clients the best service that you can. And not only will your client appreciate it, but it will increase your chances of retainment as well. So always keep that in mind whenever you guys are cutting hair. You really want to give your client the best service and cut that you can every time they come in your chair. And I'm just gonna go over my fade one more time using the Gamma Uno skin shaver. And I really like this single foil shaver right here. Not only is it very durable, but it's also strong. It's a lot stronger than what it looks like, and it can really bald out the hair down to the skin with no effort, as well as not creating no irritation to the skin. And again, if you guys do want to check out this shaver, feel free to use my discount code NEVIN10 on the Gamma website. They do have blow dryers, trimmers, clippers, you name it. They have everything you guys need on there. So if you guys want to save some money, feel free to use my discount code. And I'm gonna go ahead and use my NevinTheBarber razor. And I'm gonna take this razor blade going up against the grain of the hair on my client's hairline. And I always like to go against the grain whenever using the razor, because it's actually basically taking the hair out of its pore whenever it's done properly. And this will give your client's hairline a much more longer lasting look, as opposed to just going, with the trimmers or even just with the grain of the razor blade. But I always recommend going against the grain. And you guys can see just how much more it pops out after I put that razor blade on my client's hairline. And I'm just gonna go over everything one more time. Like I said, I'll always go back and double check my work. But if you guys have learned anything in this tutorial, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do drop free game every week for any beginner barbers or even advanced barbers trying to up their game. But that is about it. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Again, it's your boy NevinTheBarber, and I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next one.